noticed Chico Bennett not out there. Can you give us an update on what's going on?
Yeah, still going through the process of trying to get all of the information together to figure out exactly, what it is. It was a freak deal. We're out at practice. He finishes the scrimmage and takes a knee and then pops up and his knee stiffened up. So we're still trying to go through the scans and figure out exactly what it is. But I don't have a timetable yet because we just started the scanning process this morning. So I'll be able to update you at a later date. But yeah, I've never seen anything like it, to be honest with you. And once I have more detail, I'll be able to give you, accurate information. But right now, it's just kind of waiting on the doctors to tell us what it is.
Is that, obviously, as a coach, you'll be in that position plenty of times. Is that kind of a scary, anxious period when you're waiting for that?
For me, in relation to the player, it is, because like a guy like Chico, man, he's worked so hard to get to this point. He's coming off of the shoulder and being out and worked really hard, and then now you're in a situation where you're trying to get some clarity and you don't quite have it yet. So feel it mostly for the player, but the unfortunate reality of football is next man has to be ready, right? Because regardless of whether it's 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 months, 4 months, right, the next guy, has to be ready the next day and in that moment. So excited for the other guys to be able to have a chance to get some more reps, to get evaluated, to see where they're going to fall in terms of the pecking order. But just, anxious for Chico because I know how hard he's worked and how much he put into getting himself back ready to play.
I was going to add personnel behind him. You feel good about Ben Smiley,
yeah,
Cam Butler, all.
I've been talking about Ben Smiley, and I told him today, I said, doggone it, Ben, you got to do something, man. I've been calling your name since the day that I got here, right? I'm telling everybody that you're the most athletic, the twitchiest guy that I have, and in fairness to him, he played out of position last year on the inside. So I feel good about Ben, Paul Akiri. I feel good about Cam Butler. Probably going to have to move TT around a little bit. Terrell Jones, get him on the edge. Bryce Carter on the edge. But I feel really good about the experience of those three guys. And then we got to get a fourth guy and a fifth guy ready to go.
How would you compare where you guys are midway through this campus compared to last year?
A lot further along. And I remember this time, because I keep notes and I go back and compare them. I remember this time last year, I was having to stop the entire team and run as a group because we got guys getting into altercations and, stopping practice. Now, we're flowing through practice. The guys understand the pace. They understand the structure. They understand the expectations of jogging on and off the field, chasing the ball until the whistle's blown. So we're a lot further ahead. And then when I look at us offensively, offensively last year we were still struggling with the snap count. Right, we were having guys, jumping off sides regularly. Now we're not seeing as many of those issues, right? And we're doing a lot more of the offense, than we were able to do last year, just because the guys got another year under their belt. So I feel like we're a lot further along coming out of camp, and then I also feel like because of the structure this year, in fairness to the guys last year, we have more time together. Right, with everybody not being in class, in summer session 3, we got more time together so we can bond and we can do things and spend time together. And football, you got to have great players. There's no question, right? You got to have great coaching. But in my experience, what wins is do you have a team? Teams win, and I feel like we're the furthest along in that area of being a team. But we still got some things X's and O's wise. But overall, we're a lot further along.
Y'all had a scrimmage on Saturday.
Yep.
What are some of the biggest takeaways you had?
Yeah, the biggest takeaway was that Calandria is pushing Tony. I was anxious to see what it was going to look like because over on here on the practice field, obviously, Tony was putting a little bit of separation, and then we put the ball down live, and you saw Calandria, beat Calandria, so that was really good. We were able to have some explosive plays. The defense, the first defense, was able to early on, kind of put together some stops on the first team. First team offense got it going later in the scrimmage, had some explosive plays, scored a couple times. We had some turnovers, which is bad for the offense, an area we got to get better, but good for the defense. So for me as a coach, I saw some balance, which I wanted to see. You don't want to go out there as a head coach and it's one-sided, right? So there was a lot, and a lot of guys got reps too. And the good thing is we got 3 weeks before we play. Some of the guys that have been nicked up a little bit early in camp are starting to come back. So it was good to see evaluation. So I got evaluation, right, competition, and then I saw some balance. That's what I took away from it.
Tony, you brought that. Okay.
Yeah, Delaney Crawford. Delaney Crawford, wants to figure out how this season he can help the Hoos, right? And right now with where he is in his development, the best is for him to play some receiver, kick returner, because of his dynamic athleticism. I think we all know how athletic he is, and quarterback, with where he is on the depth chart, he's not getting as many reps, as he would like. So he just came to me, and it was his decision. Said, Coach, I want to explore finding a way to help this football team, whatever that may be. So we talked about what are the options, and he settled in and said, I want to give receiver a shot and see can I be a kick returner. So that's where we're going to start. And then after the season, we'll reevaluate. If he wants to jump back in and try to start in the spring, competition-wise at quarterback, then we'll explore that.
You have a couple veterans at tight end who chose to come back,
Yeah.
and Grant and Sackett. What is their game, and what do they bring to this offense?
First of all, leadership. And it's been awesome to see those guys kind of, where they were last year to where they are now, and being guys that are leading. Sackett's done a great job investing in his body. Mitch has really taken to heart the things that we've asked him and challenged him to get better in the passing game. So they bring leadership, a lot of production. They played a lot of football. They give you versatility, where you got the ability to have some on-the-line guys, but they're versatile enough to play the H as we develop, the Carsons and the Takais and the Josh Rollins of the world.
In your offensive vision where you want to run the ball first, have some play-action passing, is a true tight end extra valuable because you want both of those aspects?
Right now, the tight end position, the H-back, and a guy that can be an H-back and be functional when he puts his hand down at a Y, man, that's the hot commodity. That's what everybody's looking for. And so when you look at it, for us, the tight end is the glue, right? It holds everything together because he gives you the ability to have a two-back oriented run game, and then next play you can be in a four-wide type set. So it's critical to have those kind of guys. But then when you get into 3rd and 1 and 2, and you got to convert, then they got to put their hand in the dirt, and they got to be an extension of the offensive line and cut off, defensive ends and sometimes, some four techniques. So it's critical to have the guys that have the versatility to stretch the field in the passing game, give you production there, but then also be as critical in the run game.
A couple of other guys off to the side, Washington, Mikael Bowles.
Yeah. So Washington tweaked his ankle in the scrimmage, and just precautionary. Give him another day to let it. Wasn't nothing significant, but just give him another day. He's been taking a lot of reps because we've had guys up and down all throughout camp, and that's what you're going to get in camp, right? Guys are going to get nicked up because you got to be physical early on. So Malik, nothing major. Boley's had a little bit of an ankle sprain. We're expecting him back this week with the ankle sprain. Nothing that concerns me long term. More so, it's just day to day with those guys, and I anticipate that Malik will be back in the fold, and by the end of the week, we should have Boley back.
Anybody on that offensive line standing
Yeah.
out yet to win a job?
So I tell you, Blake Steen. Blake was a guy that initially we were like, okay, seeing some progress may take a little bit of time, being that he redshirted last year, didn't get much any game action, but he's been forced in the fire with Boley being down and Patterson kind of being up and down, and then Jimmy's down a little bit. Forced him in the mix, and I tell you what, he's done a really, really good job, and we moved him to tackle. So we had him inside, so he's playing at tackle, and he's doing a really good job. Ugana's shown some versatility at tackle. We started him at guard, but because of the situation with our numbers right now, he's been flashing. Noah Hartso, guy that came here as a preferred walk-on. Right now he's running as our second-team center and really, really doing a great job. Brian Stevens has jumped right in and kind of assumed the leadership position. Hey, Big Blake, I see you, big boy. I just gave you a shout out. You don't have to. I see your little ear over there. Good job. But those would be the guys right now. And I tell you, Noah Josie coming back from the back injury, has shown some flashes. So the good thing is we've been able to evaluate more guys because of other guys being down, but we got to get the other guys back healthy.
Take a last question from Jerry. What is it about Calandria? He's not that big. He wasn't that highly recruited. Was he overlooked, or is he an overachiever?
So I think with Calandria, you got a couple things. You got he's from the hotbed of football, right down there in the Tampa area, St. Pete, and he's right at 6 foot, but he's got an elite arm, right? And so I think in the days of the transfer portal, COVID, all of that. You're looking for that prototypical guy, and so he doesn't quite have the 6'3" frame, but he's got the mind, he's got the arm strength, and he's got the moxie of any of the top quarterbacks in the country. So I think that's what you saw, you know, and he had some opportunities mid-major, but when we had a chance to watch him spin the ball and throw it, it was like, hey, we're not going to be nitpicky over an inch or two, right? There's been some really, really good quarterbacks, you know, that were right at the 6 foot mark. So I think it's a function of timing, a function of where he's from, with a lot of talent around him that may have the height measurables, but he's got the arm, he's got the moxie, and when the lights come on, man, he loves to play football.